there, friends. Welcome to the studio today. You're in for a treat. I am about to have a conversation with an actor and a filmmaker whose name is Brett Varvel. And Brett is starring in a brand new series coming to Great American Channel Pure Flix. This series is called County Rescue, and it's about first responders. He plays the lead actor in this series, and he's going to tell us all about the content and the drama associated with this particular series. And I've already seen one of them, and I know you're going to like it. So stay tuned for this conversation with Brett. My name is Jean Thomason, and this is Momentum Influencers Network. And as promised, friends, here we are with Brett Varvel, and I'm so excited that he is with us today, all the way from Indianapolis via beautiful, wonderful technology. So thank you, Brett, for giving us your time today. We are excited to hear about your journey into this project, this specific one, because you have done many, and you've been on both sides of the camera as a filmmaker and a creator, and also as an actor. But so in County Rescue, you're the actor, Andy. So take it away and tell us about this new project, County Rescue.
I appreciate it, Gene. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to talk about County Rescue.
Yay.
It's a show that I was just blessed beyond measure to be a part of. I typically get cast in a lot of dramatic roles, so it's a lot of heavy drama, a lot of crying, a lot of those types of characters. And Andy was just such a breath of fresh air for me. He's the comic relief in the show. There's never a dull moment when he's around. He loves to make people laugh. He loves to pull pranks. He's kind of stuck in the 90s. And so there's that, which is the era that I grew up in. And so it was very nostalgic for me to be able to play this character. But the thing that I'm just so excited about the show is that I was blessed to be a part of a cast that not only is exceptionally talented, but brings these characters to life in such a unique way that I think will speak to a lot of people. It's a show that I think will be very relatable, even though the show centers around this group of EMTs who go out into very dangerous circumstances at times, not only to help save lives, but then to bring hope into people's lives. And so you get to see these characters wrestle with troubling circumstances, both at home and at work. And then how does something like your faith intersect with those moments? What do you do when things don't go your way, or when relationships go sour, or whatever the case may be? Who do you run to? Who do you turn to in those moments? These are the types of questions that this show explores, and it's a very inspirational show that at the same time honors a group of people that don't normally get featured in film and television, and that is the EMTs. And it was just such a fascinating experience to learn from the onset professionals that we had who are EMTs to help guide us and make this medical drama as authentic as possible.
Wow. Well, I've only been able to see the very first episode, and Andy doesn't make a big appearance except that he dumps shaving cream on the head of one of the rookies, which I thought was really fun. And then you find that Andy is married to Ashley, and who is also an EMT. So you guys bring some drama into the station house, I guess. And
that's right.
So which your chief clearly says he doesn't like, and yet there you are. Is that how fun was that to have an on-screen wife?
Yeah, Kristen, who plays Ashley, was just a joy to work with. We really connected instantaneously, and it was so fun to not only have certain moments with her on set where, like I said, Andy does bring a lot of the comic relief, and so there's a lot of lighthearted moments, especially when you get into the later episodes. You will see some shenanigans go forth, but what's interesting is that Andy is also the captain. And so there's the chief who lays down the law, and then there's this captain who abides by the rules sometimes, and but it keeps a very lighthearted feel in the midst of what is honestly a very heavy show at times, because you're dealing with life and death. You're dealing with crushed hopes and dreams, and then you see how these characters turn to each other and really lean on each other like a family. And that was one of the things that I was so drawn to about working with all of these actors was just getting to know more about their lives, their stories. And by the end of our experience in these 4 weeks of shooting the show, we really did gel together like a family, and it was just this incredible experience. And I hope that people see that authenticity and that intimacy that we had on set come through the episodes that you'll see in the show.
Well, even after watching the first episode, I could see the writing was so well done. I felt like, because I was
Yeah.
intrigued, I was like, well, which one of them is going to make it? And so I want to watch the rest of it. And I love that it's a GAC Pure Flix release, and your audience momentum influencers have already been introduced to Bill Abbott, who's the CEO of GAC Pure Flix now, and which is amazing because we have so much content available, and so that must be exciting for you to know that this is being able to be broadcast in an enormous platform.
Yeah, it was really it's a humbling thing. That's the best way I could
Yeah.
describe it because as an artist, you want to tell a story to people, and you want it to be seen as by as many people as possible, and to have the support of GAC and for them to say, we believe that this is special. We want as many people as possible to see it, and they're going to do a big release on the channel itself and then on their streaming platform. It's cool to be a part of something like that, especially to have seen how the whole show came about with our fearless leader Brian Baugh, who's just a creative genius, and not only was so integral into the writing of the show, but then the directing and helping us bring the characters to life, and like I said, in a way that I think is going to really inspire a lot of people, challenge people, and give hope. That's something that I think is so important for people right now. Is we need hope, and I think that the show does that really, really well, and is pretty honest at the same time.
Good.
And so to have Bill's support and the GAC family support is just really, really cool.
I wrote something down that I thought was interesting. That Scotty, the chief, what he says always is, "Be strong, keep your cool, and serve well."
Well,
Talk about how that was a strong theme in the whole series.
yeah, so you have each of these characters, and they're all very different, very unique.
Mm-hmm.
And at times they have to go out on these calls. And when you're going out on these calls, you don't know if you're going to be running into a situation where there's a death that's happened, or a death is getting ready to happen on your watch. And you have to stay grounded into something. Those are curveballs that you don't necessarily encounter every single day, but when they do come your way, uh, who are you going to how are you going to respond? Who are you going to turn to? And so the element of faith that's woven deeply throughout the entire show, specifically through the characters of Danny and then Ashley, and a little bit in my character, you see that if you have a firm foundation into the God of the universe, there is hope to navigate some of these dark times of your life. But then also the cornerstone of family is also a really beautiful storyline throughout this entire show. And you see how this EMT unit really has to cling on to each other because they're with each other all the time, but also in these moments of disaster or tragedy, they're experiencing that together. And so there's just really this beautiful sense of togetherness and family and faith that kind of all intertwines in the midst of the show. And I can't wait for people to see it.
Well, I read a little bit about you, and that you, even at 5 years old, knew that you wanted to participate somehow in the world of entertainment, even as a filmmaker. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was a bright-eyed 5-year-old kid, and my parents had let me see the movie Back to the Future. And there was something about the moving pictures and sounds that just created these emotional reactions in me. And at 5 years old, I thought, I must do this. I must do this when I get older. And so over the course of my, childhood and then teenage years, it was just this, anytime that I could get my hands on a camera or get in front of a camera, I was taking advantage of those opportunities. And I love to tell stories. I love to invoke those emotions because what I've seen is film and media and storytelling, specifically in film and television, it's the most powerful medium of our age. There's nothing quite like it that can evoke emotional reactions out of an audience. And so, what the Lord has done in my life is to see, well, if we can take this powerful medium and then bring truth into it, oh, what the beautiful things that God could do through this medium. And so from a very young age, even to now, it's just been this pursuit of seeing what opportunities the Lord has in front of me and how can I be obedient and just and faithful to the talents and abilities that He's given me to proclaim hope and His truth. And that's what I'm so honored to be. Why I'm so honored to be a part of County Rescue, because yes, it is a very cool medical drama. It's got a lot of cool story elements, and I had a blast being goofy on set, and it was all of those fun things. But there's some great truth that is given throughout the show. It really challenges people to examine, like, why are you here? That question that just can really harm people, or not harm people, but just be like a dark cloud over people's lives sometimes. Why am I here? Those are types of things that we explore in the show, and not just through the character of Danny, but then through some of the other characters like Duke and Ashley, and you get to see how different people respond to different circumstances, and how we're all broken and in need of someone to help us. So it's a lot of really cool story elements that you get to explore with each character.
Well, how different was it for you to do a series? Because I know that you've done films both in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, which we're looking forward to some more coming soon from you. But how was it shooting a series? Was that very different, or was it similar?
It was a little similar in that we, well, I honestly, I got to lean on the writing there. That's kudos to Brian and his team for they did such a great job of crafting a beautiful story arc throughout the 5 episodes. And the way that it read very much just like a longer feature film to me. And so we were blessed to have them at the helm to shepherd us in any given day. We did shoot somewhat chronologically throughout the 5 episodes, and so we didn't jump around too much. Where we were, one day we're on episode 5, and then the other day we're in episode 1. So that helped, but what was really just a blessing again is being a part of such a great group of artists who all had the same vision in mind, who we all bought into what we were trying to do, and so where there was maybe confusion, someone else was able to come in and step in and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do, and elevate everybody's game to a high level, and not just on the cast side, but on the crew side as well. It was a really beautiful thing to see.
Well, what do you think that Brian would say would be the key message or takeaway that he hopes for viewers to get, to take home from this series?
I think the main takeaway, and to speak for Brian, if I could, is that this is a show that can inspire you to dig deeper into who you are, what you were put on this planet to do, and that there are other people on this planet that God has put in place to help you on that journey. You're not meant to do this alone. That no matter how hard life can be, the obstacles that you might face in this life, that there is hope, that there is faith to be able to push you through those moments, and to not give up. I think that's one of the big things that Brian really wanted to weave throughout a lot of the different characters, was to never give up. Even when things seem to be the darkest, there's always hope.
That is so good, and that is just that's the message of the scriptures. That's the message of the hope of God in our lives through the Lord Jesus. And it's wonderful to see you and Brian and others being about your Father's business and utilizing the technology, and especially, we couldn't agree with you more about the vehicle of films, and in our world, music the same way, just to carry this message of the great love of God and the hope that we can have in Him. And so thank you for your work. Thank you for your enthusiasm enthusiasm. Thank you for being part of this whole collaborative
Thank you,
effort to
Gene.
create County Rescue. We're excited. I'm excited to watch the rest of it, and I'm sure that our viewers are going to want to go to Great American Channel, Pure Flix, either one of those that you have best access to, and find this series. I think that you will enjoy it, and it's great for the whole family, right?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brett.
that is something I think is really great, is that it is a show that the entire family can watch. There's not going to be any curveballs or anything where you would be ashamed for your children to watch it with you. And I would invite families of all shapes and sizes to come watch this show, because, like I said, I think that there are the characters that you will see on screen can speak and minister to a lot of different people. I think a lot of people are gonna point to the screen and say, boy, that's me, or that's kind of how I think or how I react, and that goes back to the beautiful writing and also just the incredible job that this cast did of bringing these characters to life. Really talented people in this cast.
So exciting. Thank you for your time. We cannot wait to see the next things that are coming.
Stay tuned.
From you soon. Another movie is in the works, and we'll wait until we have all that great information to let our viewers know about that. But County Rescue coming soon, and look for that on GAC and PureFlix. Brett, thank you again so very much for your time. God bless you, and may He give you many more opportunities to create new content so that people can enjoy that, but also be recipients of the hope that God wants to give all of us. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you, Gene.